Hello and welcome back, guys. We're now starting a new story, Ninja's Hero, by phantom_of_the_fanfic. You can find author's profile link in the description. Let's begin chapter 1, A Green Boy in a Forest. Prologue. Itachi looked left, then right, then left again. Then right one more time. He closed his eyes and sharpened his other senses. There was no sound of any movement, there was nothing for miles around. He opened his eyes, there wasn't any movement either. Hell, there wasn't even a genjutsu activate on him. There was nothing around him. Except this small child. This small green-haired child. He was only Sasuke's age of 4, Itachi couldn't really boast being an adult at 9, but even so he knew a child this young shouldn't be alone anywhere, let alone a forest. Least of all the forest of death. Are you okay? He asked the boy. The green-haired boy seemed to wipe his face and looked up at Itachi. Yeah, I'm fine, mister, sorry for troubling you. Alright, now tell me the truth. Itachi pulled out his kunai and pointed it to Izuku. Who are you? The boy turned ghostly pale and his eyes began watering. He sniffed, I'm Midoriya Izuku, please don't hurt me, why are you limping? Don't lie, Katsumi and Izumi hurt me, the boy quietly admitted. How did you get here? I was running away from them, because they were being mean. Itachi tensed, there were people around. Resharpening his senses, he tried to hear anything. But there still wasn't anything, not even a second heartbeat. But there was an overwhelming sense of chakra emanating from somewhere. Why were they being mean? Because I want to be a hero, even though I'm a boy. You mean a shinobi? What's a shinobi? Alright, not a brilliant start. Why can't you be a hero? Itachi decided to press on, repressing his confusion for a moment. Because I'm a boy, and that means I don't have a quirk. Okay, pause. A quirk? Isn't that just a personality trait? Clearly this boy was either messing with him or he genuinely had these things in his village. What village are you from? I'm not from a village, I live in Mizutsufu, a part of Tokyo. This kid had to be messing with him now. Where am I? This isn't the forest me and Kaken play in. The boy began getting scared. You are safe for the moment. Do you remember how you got here? I ran through the trees, it looked like a door, that meant the boy could return to this Mizutsufu, Tokyo area. Are you a hero? The sincerity gave Itachi pause. No, I'm not a hero, I'm an umbu, a very powerful shinobi. Why do you want to be a hero? To save people like my mama. She saves everyone with a smile. Alright, so why not train to be a shinobi then? You've got a lot of chakra, more than an average person, chakra. Itachi internally facepalmed, this kid made Sasuke looked almost gifted. Is that a quirk? Sensing a foothold he tried. Yes, it's a very common quirk in the place, almost everyone had chakra here, it lets them use ninjutsu. The forest-haired boy began to sparkle. Can you teach me how to use it? Itachi thought for a moment, this boy was clearly underweight from the clothes hanging off him and injured from the burasas he failed to hide. Very well, but I can't do it when you're like this. Come, we can eat first then tend your wounds. He began leading the child. This is my hidden spot, it is where I come to train and rest, it is where I organize my thoughts. A small campfire was ready to burn next to a very rudimentary shelter. Izuku smiled and limped over to a log that acted as the seating by the fire. Itachi quickly weaved some signs. Fire style, fireball jutsu, lifting his hand with his middle and index fingers extended to his lips. A small burst of fire ignited just above his fingers and flew to the campfire, causing it to start burning and crackling. Alright, there's some roasted fish to eat, the smaller boy eyed to skewers resting around the fire. Lesson number 1, a shinobi cannot be picky when it comes to eat. You don't know when a battle may start, so you eat everything you aren't allergic to. Izuku took a fish and began eating it slowly. You shall learn to enjoy it. Itachi shook his head as Izuku pulled many faces eating the fish. Another body soon entered the area and dropped into a fighting stance. Shisui, stand down, he is 4. The greenette dropped the fish and began bowing in apology. His talking much faster than anyone he'd ever heard. There were glimpses of "sorry" over and over again until Itachi stepped forwards. "Don't worry Izuku, this is Shisui my cousin, Itachi, there's a massive chakra presence, it's Izuku." Itachi shook his head, "I've done every check I can, this child is the only thing present for miles around here, be that as it may we need to know, look at him Shisui, he's barely Sasuke's age, he's no threat to anyone, he's underweight and already bruised, the boy doesn't even know what chakra is. He thinks it's something called a quirk." "So you found an immensely powerful blank slate." "I'm not taking him to Konohagakure, not into Danzo's hands." Being an Umbu Itachi knew the dangers, being 9 he was stubborn to the end. "I want to teach him, he came here running from attackers and doesn't know how to fight back." The barely older boy's face softened. "Alright, hey Izuku was it?" "Yeah. We're going to get you patched up and we'll start teaching you ninjutsu, and some taijutsu. You want to learn?" "Absolutely, it's going to be difficult, it's going to leave you sore," Shisui warned. "I don't mind, anything to be a hero." "Told you," Itachi smirked as Shisui stared completely baffled, "but it's a migraine for another day." Both nodded and chuckled before sitting either side of Izuku. "Sensei, you know I can detect you both right." Izuku sat leaning over the cooking some fish. "I'm not as weak as I once was," that was true. In 2 years they'd been training. Izuku had grown immensely, his taijutsu, ninjutsu and shurikenjutsu were all incredible, almost better than Itachi at his age. In fact his chakra was so large, potent and concentrated they had decided it was primal chakra, a very rare unspecialized chakra that gave Izuku an affinity for, well, ever chakra nature. Both older boys landed silently on the other side of the secret clearing. "What training are we doing this weekend?" Itachi smiled. Over the last 2 years they'd been training every weekend and a few weekdays in an odd yearly CYCL that Izuku claimed was due to Aldera Elementary School. Whatever the F that was. During that time their relationship had grown into an almost brotherly one, both of them training Izuku as best they could, both being Umbu meant Izuku was trained pretty well. "This weekend we're going to be going on a little trip," Itachi offered. "You're going to become a real shinobi of the Hidden Leaf Village." "Wait, we're going to Konohagakure." Izuku stood up. Long since disappeared had the timid and shy boy replaced with a more confident humble one. "Alright," he bumped his fist up. "Let's get moving." The three crouched before leaping into the trees. Itachi and Shisui both thought nothing of bouncing between the trees as Izuku raced just behind them, mumbling about his abilities going beyond superhuman, being faster than something called a sports car. Itachi and Shisui shared a bemused look. Even after 2 years they still didn't have a clue about what Izuku's home world was like. They continued to bounce through the forest for a second. "Oi sensei." Both looked back while Izuku seemed to catch up without effort and harmlessly tapped Shisui's shoulder. "Tag, you're it." He flipped to smile brightly upside down before pushing off the next branch. Itachi leapt with more force away from Shisui as the eldest boy reached out. "Can't catch me that easy Shisui." Tag had been one of the games they had used to teach Izuku how to chain movements together, running up tree trunks, bouncing between branches and even substitution jutsu. Him starting a game was rare, only when he was in a fun mood. Itachi and Shisui had learned quickly how fun the game was in general. Laughter emanated from the three for the briefest of peaceful moments in the forest. "Whoa, this place is massive." Izuku stood at entrance to the home of Shinobi. "So where are we going?" The three walked harmlessly into the village. Itachi chuckled slightly as Shisui shook his head. "Come on, let's go to the park for a moment, I need to grab Sasuke," Itachi spoke levelly. Izuku had never met his younger brother, but there had been conversation about the young Uchiha. The greenette admired Sasuke for drive to be a ninja like Itachi. They reached the small park and all stood at the edge. "Sasuke, come here, there's someone I want you to meet." Parents began leaving with their children slowly, each avoiding a particular blonde boy in a swing. Something Izuku didn't fail to notice. "Hey, who's that?" He pointed to the blonde. That is, Itachi squinted and cursed silently. Shursui. Do you remember Minato? Fourth, yeah, why? That's Naruto Uzumaki, his son. Shursui pulled away. And they treat him like that. Both brood in mild anger, something to talk to third about. Izuku needed nothing more before calling over. Uzumaki. He called out. The blonde looked over to the waving boy. Over here, come on. Slowly Naruto came over to them. Hi, I'm Midoriya Izuku, you can call me Izuku. Hey, who's this? Sasuke complained. He just introduced himself. Sasuke, you should listen more, Shursui scolded. This is Midoriya Izuku, we found him a few years back and have been training him every weekend. Hi Midoriya, I'm Uzumaki Naruto, you can just call me Naruto. Then call me Izuku. The brunette matched the jovial energy. Sensei, can he come with us? Please. Itachi and Shursui nodded before the group of 6 began walking off. So, Uchiha, what is Sensei like at home? Lazily, just sleeps all the time, never helps me at all. If you want I can help you. Izuku offered merrily, I mean I'm probably not as good as you but, okay. I mean getting to train with someone isn't something that happens often. Naruto, you can join us too. Both older Uchihas paused and smiled as the blonde's mood was lifted incredibly high. Hey Sensei, can I train with these guys from now on? Pretty please. Pretty please. Shursui hummed, well I guess so, but we need to go talk to Lord Third first. Minutes later the 6 stood in the Hokage's office while he pondered for a moment. Midoriya. Yes Lord Third, the brunette bowed, I am Midoriya Izuku, I am from a place called Mizutafu, in a region called Tokyo from another world. I stumbled into your forest of death 2 years ago and met Uchiha Itachi. I believe what I stepped through was a gateway of sorts. I have since trained under Itachi and Shursui Uchiha. I wish to become a shinobi of Konohagakure. I am skilled in ninjutsu, taijutsu and shuriken jutsu. Please let me join. The third Hokage hummed for a brief moment before observing Izuku for another moment. Very well, we shall test you on your knowledge to see if you show promise as a genin before we make you part of Konohagakure. Is there any issues following your location? No, I plan on coming into Hagakure as soon as I finish elementary school in my world. Hopefully it shall only be 2 more years. Izuku bowed again. Thank you for having me. Thank you Lord Third. Itachi and Shursui both bowed deeply while Sasuke and Naruto stood at the side mildly confused. Itachi stared ahead as he heard feet approaching. Izuku stormed into the clearing, his face the picture of rage, angrily growling about his stupid parents. Itachi didn't say anything until Izuku saw him, the anger vanishing instantly. Sensei, what's wrong? He ran over and slid across the grass to the older boy's side. Izuku, Shursui died. He killed himself before people could come after his Manjikyu Sharigan. A small leather pouch was pulled from Itachi's pocket. He wanted me to give them to you, so you could guard them. Are you ready to accept them? The brunette was obviously distraught. One of his senseis for 4 years just died. Itachi bit back tears as he continued, the Uchiha were planning a coup that would have killed most of the villagers. Izuku seemed to put the pieces together quickly. No, sensei, no. Itachi was enveloped in a hug. I couldn't kill Sasuke, please, look after him for me. Tears fell down both of their faces. Please, I swear on my ninja way to protect him as much as I can, sensei. Yes. Can you implant the eyes into me please? Izuku laid down on the log facing the sky. Itachi stood up, wiping the tears from his eyes. Shursui had asked him to be strong for now, he could face the pain later. Right now his pupil needed him. Alright, but it's going to hurt. Pulling out a tag he prepared to knock Izuku out. You said that about my training, look how great I am now. Izuku chuckled before the tag struck him. Itachi began his work and opened the drawstring pouch. The process was not a long one, however it was a delicate one. His body readily accepted the eyes as his own quickly, and Itachi wrapped bandages over his eyes around his head. Izuku woke up not long after the procedure completed and clutched his face. Ow. His hands reached for the bandages. Pain fades, he repeated slowly. Izuku, it's not, I'll have to take them off eventually sensei, so why not now? The bandages slipped away and Izuku stared up at the bright light for a moment. Ooh, that stings, but it's fading already. Looking over at Itachi, he caused the teen to gasp. Impossible, you're not of the Uchiha bloodline. What? What? Izuku began panicking, looking around for a reflective surface. Itachi sat down numbly as he watched the frantic boy run around. No, that can't be happening. There was no way he could. Itachi snapped his head up and looked at Izuku again. Unless. It's your primal chakra, it probably gives you control over the Sharigan. Itachi looked between the emerald-colored orbs that now rested in the leather drawstring pouch and Izuku. The eyes of who should now be a vivid red. Except they weren't anymore. Instead, the eyes of Shisui Uchiha were emerald green. Chapter 2, Brothers. Moving on and introductions. Bang bang bang. Naruto sat up quickly and looks around. That was his front door. Except that thing never has anyone. Bang bang bang. Well, it did now as Naruto quickly climbed out of his bed and ran over to the front door and yanked it open, the daylight burning his eyes. Naruto, oh thank God you answered, we have a major problem. Izuku Midoriya, his training partner and almost brother, stood frantically at the door. Alright, so I'm a shadow clone right now. Ah yes, the Kage art they'd secretly learnt last year to prove their skills as shinobi. He remembered breaking into the vault to grab the scrolls and learn them before the sun rose. Sasuke could unfortunately only do one, while Naruto and Izuku could produce hundreds. Izuku had his primal chakra, giving him chakra levels way beyond anyone in Konohagakure, maybe even the shinobi world, but Naruto gained no explanation for his high chakra levels yet. Grandpa Third wouldn't talk just yet, but Naruto was wearing him down. Just last year he got to learn his father was the fourth Hokage. It hurt, knowing his parents had died protecting the village, but now he wanted to be Hokage even more. Realizing he'd zoned out, he shook his head and looked at Izuku. Sorry, what? The shadow clone groaned. Alright, Itachi had to do something for the village. The elders forced his hand. To make it convincing they had to mark him as a rogue ninja, meaning he's going to be hunted. Sasuke's pretty shaken up about it right now. More will be explained when we get here, so please, can you make tea or something? On it, Naruto nodded as the clone dispersed in a puff of smoke. He turned to his apartment and cringed. Shadow clone jutsu. He called out. A small army of himself appeared. Come on, let's get this place cleared up for Izuku and Sasuke. We need it to be spotless. His shadow clones all smirked. Got it. His voice echoed back to him and the army began working on his apartment. Sweeping, wiping, mopping, picking up trash and taking the bins away once they were full. The process of housekeeping was practically all but painless anymore. Of course he'd learn everything the clones didn't have time to reach once they were all dismissed, but he could hit those spots later. Quickly his clones cleaned the floor, walls and ceiling. A noise of almost silent landing at his front door and Naruto dismissed the clones as he answered the door. Hey, what's going on? He escorted Izuku and Sasuke to his sofa and walked over to the already brewed teas, placing them on a tray and carrying them back. Izuku patted Sasuke's back grimly. Itachi was ordered to protect the village. The elders, namely Danzo, gave him no option, and they also claimed it'd help in another mission for him that he's left for right now. Izuku got up and led Naruto away from the unresponsive black-haired boy. The Uchihas were planning a coup that would have cost the village a lot of lives. Itachi had to stop it. Itachi had to kill the entire clan. Naruto stepped backwards, feeling incredibly sick. What about Shisui? He killed himself yesterday while the coup was being planned. He knew they'd be after his Manjiki Sharigans, so he gave them to Itachi to safeguard until I came back this morning. And what? Do you have them? He looked Izuku in the eye. They were still the same emerald. Holy SHT, Naruto whisper shouted as Izuku's eyes turned a powerful red. You mean, yes, Shisui wanted me to have his eyes to guard them. My primal chakra gives me the ability to actually control them. I don't believe it just yet either, but that's what's happening. so what next? Well, I don't have to go back home until I'm 18 for university, that means I can just stay in Konohagakure if I want to, Izuku pondered, that means I have 11 years here to train and figure out what the F is at play here. The two returned to Sasuke's side. Hey, you feeling better? He killed my family, our family, he killed the entire clan. Sasuke clenched his cup tightly. Why would he do that? Because Danzo left no other options. Itachi had to decide between the village or the clan. I'm guessing, either way he'd be a rogue ninja and have to leave Konoha, this way cost the least lives. I'm sorry Sasuke, I really am, we're both here if you need to talk. Izuku hugged the last Uchiha. The black-haired boy began crying. Naruto clenched his fists, what happened next could wait a moment. We need to see Grandpa third, he growled. Izuku took a hand away from Sasuke to hold up a thumb while the crying boy just nodded numbly, but let's just collect ourselves for a minute, as if that was going to happen. The doors were blown down with a synchronous cry from three voices. Saratobii. The third Hokage sat in his office, Umbu already appearing to protect him. Izuku, Naruto and Sasuke stood at the remains of the door. Naruto lowered his foot from the place the door had stood. You are going to explain yourself right, the Hokage does not need, and Umbu began. He does owl, when it involves a massive chakra source hidden in Naruto and Itachi Uchiha, one of the best shinobi of our time, being forced to kill his clan and become a rogue ninja, Izuku growled backing up Naruto. Sasuke stared angrily ready to fight. Anger rolled off the three, readying to fight. Properly. The three of us were trained by him and Shisui Uchiha, who killed himself just yesterday to prevent the Uchiha getting hold of his Manjikyu Sharingans. Naruto felt anger bubble. One reason why we should be patient about this and not beat the answers out of you third, a second Umbu scoffed. You challenged the third Hokage. He needs you lot to protect him in his office, Panda, or did you want me to kick your butt again? Izuku referred to the time he had fought the Umbu as a test of his abilities 2 years ago, when he'd beaten 4 of them at once. Naruto remembered watching. It had been hilarious entertainment but must have been tiring. The blonde fought to keep his anger from overtaking him. Sarutoi Hiruzen, you have this chance to explain right now, before I lose it. The Umbu all reached for their weapons. Very well, you are aware of who your parents were. Fourth Hokage Namikaze Minato and Uzumaki Kushina, yes I'm very well aware, keep going. Well they died on your birthday, the day the night the Ninetales attacked the village. Something burned in Naruto's chest. To stop the attack, they sealed the Ninetales away, inside of you. Silence. Bullshit, Naruto growled, there's no way. It does explain your higher chakra, if you have a tailed beast inside of you, more so if it is the Ninetales. Izuku put a hand on his shoulder, that doesn't answer why you let Danzo force Itachi to kill the Uchihas and leave Sasuke the sole survivor, while his beloved older brother was forced to flee. Third bowed his head. That is something too late to rectify. I am sorry Sasuke, but Danzo acted before I could intervene. I wished it didn't have to come to this but Itachi was about to undergo a secret mission for me anyway. Explain, now. Itachi heard rumors of a group hunting down the tailed beasts. Obviously we do not know if they have any just yet, but he is going undercover to sabotage any missions if possible. I hope this is answer enough. You have a lot to make up for Grandpa third. Naruto stepped forwards, lying to me, letting them attack me like they did, not giving me any answers until we came here planning to fight you. Remind me, why were you made Hokage again? Umbu made a move. Muttley Shadow Clone Jutsu. Izuku's voice cried out as something collided with Naruto's temple. He was laying down in an empty space. A thin layer of water covered the flat ground around him. Naruto sat up and looked around. It was darkness almost immediately. Except in front of him. There stood a large stone gate, with a ceiling tag down the center of it. That, of course, meant it was about 4 stories above Naruto's head. He looked behind the gate to see a large orange fox at the other side. So you finally came here, you're the Ninetales. Naruto shouted taking a step backwards, you're massive. I'm the 9-tailed beast, of course I'm going to be larger than some kid. Why did you attack the village? Yes that did happen, because an Uchiha or at least someone possessing the Manjikyu Sharigan forced me to do it. I was housed in your mother before that night. The prick you used me to attack the Leaf Village was able to interrupt the ceremony used to keep me sealed away during your BRTH. You killed my parents. An act I had no control over, but I should have. Kushina was one of the first to treat me with kindness, asking me to be patient instead of forcing me down. I truly regret not being able to break out of the hold before she was killed by my claw. Your father too. I did not mean to take parents from their infant kid. Naruto could see the regret in the beast's face. What's your name? Me. I am simply Kyubi. Now tell me the truth. Naruto folded his arms. Don't be shy. I'm Naruto Uzumaki. You can call me Naruto but only if you tell me your name. Very well Naruto, I am Kurama. It is nice to finally talk to you. Being trapped with just my thoughts was getting torturous. Alright Kurama, I can see a lot of anger in you, even if you are being patient. He grinned. Don't worry, I'm angry too. Would you like to talk about it? Kurama paused, his eyes widening in shock for a moment. Talk about it? Yeah, like why are you angry? What did people do that made you cross? Being sealed away in an infant not fun, but that's not a big deal anymore. Yeah, I didn't know you were sealed inside of me until about 3 minutes ago. I had to threaten to beat Gramps to finally get the answers as to why my chakra is so strong. You haven't tapped into my chakra yet. Kurama grunted. You are an Uzumaki. They were famed for having higher chakra than normal. He felt a twitch. Oh, really? One more thing to beat Grandpa third, but you are the son of the fourth, aren't you? Yeah, so shouldn't you be on the fifth? I don't know either. I'm only 7 Kurama. I don't get a lot of things, but you are smart. You were trained by 2 Umbu. Yes, but there's still things I don't understand. Naruto raised his arms. Is there anything else you are angry about? I was always repressed by previous Jinchurikis, feared by shinobi across the world. They never thought I could be of help, always a burden. He frowned to Kurama. Well, that's not fair. Naruto shook his head and put a fist through the gap in the gate. Well, I won't try keep you down. If you want to help, I'll happily take it. Kurama stared at his fist. It's a fist bump. Come on, you don't know what that is. Kurama shook his head. Alright, make a fist and gently bump it against mine. The giant fox curiously did the same and bumped Naruto's fist. Alright. That means we're friends now. Naruto cheered before looking around. Izuku and Sasuke are probably worried about me right now. How do I leave? Just close your eyes, kid. You'll be able to come and go as you wish now you've come here once. Alright Kurama, I'll be back soon. Naruto closed his eyes and fell forwards. Only to sit up and smack heads with Izuku. Ow. Both boys recoiled and rubbed their foreheads. Why were you so close? Because you were talking in your sleep, the greenette countered. Wasn't he Sasuke? You were. The lone Uchiha nodded. We dealt with the Umbu. Naruto looked around to see the shinobi all tending wounds, several cuts and a large amount of bruising. Izuku grinned. Anyway Izuku, didn't you have one more thing to add? Sasuke stood up the other side of the greenette as the boy in question hauled Naruto to his feet. Yes, I did actually. Naruto watched him confidently walk up to third. And extract a piece of paper before placing it on the desk. I wish to become an Uzumaki. The blonde paused. Izuku wanted to join his family. I want to be part of the Uzumaki clan, because my old family wants nothing to do with me and I don't want anything to do with them. I wish to lose the Midoriya name and become Uzumaki. Izuku, it appears we will not be alone any longer. Kurama's voice echoed in his head. Naruto felt his stomach doing flips of joy. The blonde turned to Sasuke. Hey, maybe one day you can join our clan too. Sasuke visibly flinched. Maybe someday Naruto, but right now it's a bit too soon. Izuku shook his head. He just lost everyone, except us. Let's give him time to adjust. Right, sorry Sasuke, I don't want to upset you. It's fine Naruto, I know you didn't mean anything hurtful. Sasuke smiled as he shook his head. I'm just going to need some time. Well, I suppose I should get to the paperwork, but officially you are now Uzumaki Izuku, citizen of Konohagakure. Welcome to the village. Alright. Izuku pumped a fist. Naruto laughed as he draped an arm around his and Sasuke's shoulders. Let's go dopes, we don't need anything else right now. even Sasuke cracked a smile as the childish antics overtook him too. Where should we head for some lunch? Ichiraku, Naruto offered up, Izuku nodded. No, come on, not ramen, Sasuke complained. Izuku and Naruto both stared. Ichiraku, Ichiraku, the two began chanting, Ichiraku, Ichiraku, Ichiraku. Fine, Sasuke relented, much to the other two's joy. Ramen. Naruto cried boisterously, ignoring the looks of disgust and hatred he got from the other villagers. What did he care anymore? He had a brother. Hey Izuku, what happened with your old family? Naruto asked as the three readied for bed. Izuku had moved in as he was an Uzumaki now and Sasuke was bunking for safety and in case he had some nightmares. Izuku was readying the two futons for them. I mean you seem like a pretty awesome brother so far, Izuku sighed. They were, not nice, neither of my moms really gave me that much attention, my twin sister constantly harassed me, her best friend joined in, my only friend was her twin brother, a boy I call Kaken, and until I go back for university, I won't be strong enough to protect him and all the other boys that are hurt. When I was 4 I learnt that people are not created equal. It was shortly after that I met Itachi. Ever since I was training and learning with him, my life got so much better with him. He paused. My family never noticed or cared that I was missing over the weekends, there never was any panic. What happened? This morning my blonde mom was angry that I fought my sister's friend, completely ignoring the fact I was just defending myself. Seriously. Yeah, and she's supposed to be the #1 hero, the most awesome person, that protects everyone. Izuku frowned. Guess she only really protects women. She sounds like a meanie, Naruto growled. He could feel Kurama's anger as well. Yeah, but when I go back I'll be able to kick her butt and be a hero. Then I'll protect everyone, even the men. Yeah. Naruto offered a fist. You wanted to become Hokage, right? Not just the Hokage, I'm gonna be the best Hokage ever, believe it. The boys bumped fists again. So are you gonna be in our class? Most likely, we can be a trio with Sasuke. They grinned. What about me? The boy in question stepped through the door, a small bag over his shoulder. Sorry, I went back to the compound to grab a few of the things I still wanted. We're just saying how we're going to be a team. Izuku offered the boy his other fist. You in? You know it. Sasuke bumped his fist. So what's happening next? We go to school, Naruto shrugged. Like what else? We can't go on missions before we have a senior jounin, but the three of us have already skipped all of that. Sasuke complained. Naruto nodded. He is right, kid. You three are stronger than others but you are still kids. Upon graduating the academy I have no doubt you will become jounin. Thanks Kurama. Naruto was grateful for the support of his new nine-tailed friend. I get it Sasuke, but we are still academy age, we'll be actual jounin. He grinned, but for now we can just be boys, right? Alright dope. They also bumped fists, and now we've all bumped fists. What are we doing? He chuckled as the boys stood in a triangle with their arms all stretched out. The other two proceeded to also begin laughing. They kept laughing until growling filled the air. Actually, what's for dinner? I don't want ramen again, katsudon. It's a dish I used to have a lot. I think I can cook it, Izuku offered. Let's get cooking. Naruto patted his stomach. The trio left the bedroom set for the kitchen. Since you've all finished the academy, you are being split up into teams. Your jounin leaders will be here to collect the three of you. Uzumaki, yes. Yeah. Both Izuku and Naruto lazily raised a hand. Since we have an extra student, you two will be on the same team in a team of 4, got it? Yeah, whatever, both boys responded. Izuku stood up. Can you tell us who our jounin is so we know who to look out for? Iruka-sensei. Nope, the jounin teacher, now identified as Iruka, smirked. Hard ass. Izuku flopped down into his seat. The whole class were gazing at the brothers with anger and resentment. Except of course, Sasuke Uchiha, who was sat pretending to think while trying hard not to laugh. After Izuku became an Uzumaki, the trio had developed a plan to try and get them into the same team. Naruto and Izuku were the lazy jokers of the class, having fun and not really trying but succeeding regardless, while Sasuke was pretending to be a strong loner. His fake attitude was one of working hard and fighting harder. They had several pre-planned clashes to really make the class not relate them in any way. Each time a jounin arrived, another 3 students left with a smug smile to Izuku and Naruto, who were pretending to nap. Sasuke was tempted to do the same. Naruto slyly looked over at him and lifted 2 fingers in salute. Sasuke sighed and kicked his feet up on the desk, spinning a kunai between his fingers. Sitting up straight, Naruto stretched his arms. Yo bro, he shook Izuku, huh. I'm up, I think it's time we did the seals, dude, F off, I was sleeping, he yawned and stretched widely. Izuku did have a tendency to actually zone out and fall asleep, probably because he was always up late analyzing the world around him, from ninjutsu and genjutsu to taijutsu and weapon arts. No, seriously, come on, it's better late than never, a shinobi should never be late. Izuku's snarkly remark died in his throat as he paused and began glaring. I hate you, love you too bro, come on, seal time. The greenette suddenly flopped backwards and clapped his hands together wildly while barking. The class let out a small laugh at his antics before he adjusted his position. Just sit still, Naruto put his hand on Izuku's shoulder and focused. Kurama, can you help me quick? I just want to be sure I get this right. You do not need my chakra, but I can make sure that you do not make any mistakes, thanks Kurama. His hand warmed slightly as the chakra focused onto Izuku's skin. As his hand pulled away, a small series of black symbols appeared before fading almost instantly. Alright, my turn. Naruto sat still while Izuku put a hand on his shoulder now and closed his eyes. Izuku didn't have anyone like Kurama, so he had to be careful and make sure it was right. His skin prickled a bit as the sealing took place, but soon enough it was done. Awesome, he felt the chakra marker fade into his skin. The class stared at them in surprise before their other jounin arrived. Naruto and Izuku ended up folding a paper sheet into a triangle and playing paper football. A game Izuku had actually introduced to him and Sasuke. Oi, Sasuke, care to play? Naruto called over, completely ignoring the other person in the room. Sure, we got time before the jounin arrives. He got up and sat in the chair in front of Naruto's desk. The 3 began playing until Izuku coughed. It appears Haruno Sakura is our 4th member, casually flicking the paper to her desk. What? The pink-haired girl cried out. How are you 3 getting along? You hate those 2, a deception to be put on the same team. We hid to get what we want. Naruto shrugged. You seriously never doubted why any of us ended unharmed in our fights, except for that one time you scratched my face with your nail, Sasuke tacked on, or the time Sasuke kicked me in the nuts, Izuku murmured. The 3 boys all cringed for a second before Sasuke pulled out another piece of paper and began folding it into a triangle, but yeah. Sasuke is a brother to us, we live together. Ever since Izuku joined the Uzumaki clan and Sasuke lost his, the scar was still there and it still hurt, but Sasuke shook his head. Yeah, it happened. Danzo hasn't stepped foot in the village since. In fact, his entire agency disappeared after that day. Lucky for him, I'm not allowed to hunt him down just yet. Izuku chopped his head. Sasuke, no, we'll go after him as a team, remember. You haven't been alone once. Yeah, strength with you 2 means strength in myself. Sasuke groaned. Anywho, have you figured out who our senior is yet? Don't you mean Jounin Sasuke? No, he means senior. The 3 of us are effectively Jounin already. Izuku caught the paper before it flew past his head, resetting it on the table, but we're not allowed to become Jounin or Umbu yet. Since the last time that happened the kid was forced to do something traumatic. I suppose Grandpa Third is good for something after all, Naruto grunted, annoyance in his chest. Anyway, Izuku. Oh yeah, I figured out it's a Jounin known for being late, he sighed. All the other known Jounin senseis have already taken their teams, so we're gonna be Team 7 with. The door slid open. Yo, I'm Kakashi Hatake, your Jounin cap dash. A kunai thudded into the doorway either side of his head and a third just above his hair. You're late, Izuku growled. Some captain, Sasuke huffed. A good shinobi is never late, Naruto finished. The three boys all stood up. Uzumaki Naruto, son of Uzumaki Kushina and Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage, he bowed. Uchiha Sasuke, sole survivor of the Uchiha clan, Sasuke followed suit. Uzumaki Izuku, primal chakra user, adopted brother of Uzumaki Naruto, the greenette rounded off and the three stood up. We're very good at ninjutsu, taijutsu and shurikenjutsu already. We were trained by Shisui and Itachi Uchiha for 2 years. My and Izuku's genjutsu is limited at the moment. Naruto stared at Kakashi. We've been training since we were 6, Izuku since he was 4, we're already jounin but we need to get to the Chunin exams for it to be official. Sakura stood on Sasuke's other side, hurriedly bowing. Haruno Sakura, I don't have anything big to say like them, please take care of me. Alright, you 4 are going to meet me tomorrow for training, meet me at 7, don't be late on, and it's probably best if you don't eat breakfast. Sakura was the only one that paled or even seemed surprised. See ya, he disappeared in a puff of smoke and leaves. Izuku folded his arms and clicked his tongue. Hard ass, Sasuke nodded in agreement. Naruto tilted his head and frowned, deciding on a better description. Jackass, the three boys disappeared in a shimmer of light. Chapter 3, Bell Training. Why are you 3 eating? Sakura cried. Naruto finished his protein bar to answer. Because we aren't falling for his SHT, Izuku chopped the back of his head. Language, and we know he's going to be late again, meaning we're going to be hungry. Hell, we even packed lunch in case he's incredibly seriously late. Digging a hand into his pocket, the blonde threw a protein bar to Sakura. Eat it, you're going to need your strength. The pinkette just stared at him. Just eat it. He waved a hand. You didn't eat breakfast, we had it 2 hours ago, this is just a top up, put something in your stomach or you going to be hungry. Thank you, she nodded. Izuku stretched. He gripped his trousers and pulled them up slightly before lowering himself into push-ups. What is he? Sasuke quickly rested his ankles on Izuku's shoulders while holding onto the greenette's ankles in a push-up position himself. Why are they? Naruto stood behind the pair before planting his hands on Sasuke's back and starting vertical push-ups. Okay, what the hell? Exercise. Izuku needs the extra weight to actually gain progress. Sasuke wants to challenge himself. I'm working on my balance. The three all compressed their arms at once. Naruto felt himself lower than he should have naturally and wobbled forward slightly. Don't worry Naruto, you're still up straight, Izuku grunted. Jesus, you too, did you have midnight snacks or something? You're heavier than Shisui and Itachi were. Naruto watched Sasuke pause to kick Izuku's head. Alright, I'm sorry, Sakura giggled from the sidelines. Hey, Sakura, can you do 10 push-ups? Naruto challenged, lifting his head. What, why? Well, a kunoichi is still a shinobi and you are a kunoichi, correct? Izuku fell into a pace with the other boys on top of him. Yeah, that means you gotta be strong, so do 10 push-ups. Naruto grinned to her. Come on, you can do it right. Easy, watch me. She dropped into a position next to Izuku. The three watched her do a single push-up as her arms began wobbling. And that is why you don't skip breakfast, Sasuke tooted. I'm going to one arm, Izuku warned as he suddenly lurched upwards. Naruto leant towards his head to keep his balance as the greenette fell back down. His free hand began pointing to Sakura's form. Your back isn't straight, Naruto picked up on the indication. Your hands are too far apart, feet together, there you go, try again. She did another push-up with less shaking. Form is everything. Izuku, can you go to one leg? I'll go back down to 2 arms, watch out. The process was quick. Izuku dropped his arm back to the floor and Sasuke suddenly kicked off the greenette's heels. The blonde wobbled again for a second before Izuku crossed his ankles to give Sasuke a center point for his one-arm push-ups. Anyway, Naruto, continue. Yeah, form is everything Sakura. Shifting your weight slightly can cause a branch to break if you're standing wrong. It's a basic in fighting, training and moving. Naruto grinned as he kept lifting himself up on Sasuke's back. You've done 4 so far, that's not too bad. He supported her as much as he could. Izuku could barely do 2 when he started. I was malnourished and bruised, something chronic. Don't drag me into this, the greenette challenged from the bottom. But you are making good progress, just pace yourself, alright. Try and do all 10 quickly and you'll never get to 11, the 3 watched her again settle into a slow rhythm. You're doing great, but you can do more than 10 right. Why should I listen to you, Naruto? You just messed about in class, yet here the 3 of us are, proving to have more dedication than anyone else in the class, continued with their workout for another moment. Sakura seemed to silently ponder while she continued push-ups. Kakashi finally landed in the training field at noon. Izuku and Sasuke had kept on their workout while Naruto had rolled from Sasuke to help Sakura. Just one more, come one Sakura. He was currently applying his weight to her feet, forcing her to try and sit up straight with her core. You've got to 14, just one more and we'll be at 15, shut up Naruto, I can do this. She lifted herself one more time, a bead of sweat down her head. 15, I did it. Her energy seemed to recover until she tried getting to her feet. Wow, I'm hungry, good, that's what I was hoping for when I said don't eat breakfast. Kakashi smiled and closed his one showing eye. Izuku and Sasuke stopped exercising and joined the other 2 in facing Kakashi. Alright, now your exercise commences. He held up 3 bells, whoever has a bell by the end gets lunch, only limit is you have to take it in an hour. Naruto led the charge, running in trademark shinobi style. Izuku and Sasuke were close on his heels. The blonde leapt up to kick at Kakashi's head. It was blocked with a forearm. Izuku jumped up the other side. Kakashi no had both arms up while Sasuke suddenly hit the ground and slid to take Kakashi's feet out from under him. He lifted one foot, pushed the 2 kicking boys away. As he fell backwards he quickly flipped to land and rushed forwards. Izuku led this time, rushing to meet him directly. Kakashi tried to deflect as many attacks as possible while also lashing out to Sasuke as he reached for the bells. The Uchiha grunted as the foot landed in his stomach and he rolled backwards into a tree. Little did the gray-haired Jounin realize that Naruto had come from another direction and pulled out a kunai. The bells jingled as they fell for a second. Kakashi kicked Izuku away to twist and catch the bells. Completing his spin, Kakashi faced Naruto and Izuku down. Sasuke charged behind him and threw a blunt kunai. He moved out of the way as Izuku and Naruto charged him together. He used one arm for each boy after avoiding Sasuke entirely. Sasuke. Izuku called out, a bell threw from the greenette to Sasuke. Keep it away from him, got it. He nodded and darted to the trees. Naruto took the moment to snatch the second bell and throw it away to Sakura, who fumbled with it for a second and clutched it to her chest. And that's the second one, just one left. The 2 boys bumped forearms as Kakashi lashed out. Izuku jumped away as Naruto began deflecting the attacks. Izuku, take the weights off, just what I was thinking. Some heavy thuds and Izuku was back in the action, moving with more speed and power while Naruto leapt away. He rolled up his sleeves and revealed some weights around his forearms. Quickly unstrapping them he watched them hit the floor, kicking up some dirt. Both boys moved back to fight Kakashi, ready to take the last bell. Want to try the Robin? Oh, you know it, you keep up. Naruto watched as Izuku kept pushing Kakashi back. The second there was an opening the boys instantly swapped positions. Round Robin Jutsu. They yelled in synchrony. So it began. Naruto kicked Kakashi's arm away and landed to punch his gut. He instantly teleported several feet away while Izuku unleashed a powerful roundhouse kick into Kakashi's side. As Naruto began moving towards Kakashi they swapped positions again and Naruto snatched the third bell out of the air. Izuku took his place with a flying kick to Kakashi's chest. Naruto flipped into an axe kick to his head. Izuku gripped his shoulders and weighed him down. Sakura and Sasuke began making their way over. Sakura clutched hers in both hands while Sasuke was twirling the string from a closed fist and Naruto dangled his from between his fingers. It's over, sensei, we win. Izuku flipped off the Jounin and stood at the front of the small diagonal line. Naruto felt something akin to pride bubble in his chest. That kid, he will push you further than anyone, Kurama mused. Naruto silently agreed with the nine-tailed fox. Mission accomplished, Sasuke grinned. Wonderful, Kakashi began standing up. Sasuke, Naruto, Izuku, you guys get lunch, the three boys frowned. You weren't supposed to say that, Naruto glared. Sakura wasn't supposed to. Stand by, that's how, be that as it may Kakashi, but she caught and guarded the second bell, not to mention the three of us rushed forwards because we had already formed a plan. Sakura was going to be our support, luckily we didn't need her before she gets to our level, Izuku interrupted, raising an eyebrow. You may be former Umbu Kakashi but we were trained by two Umbu, like it or not we are closer to your level than Sakura is to ours. His words clearly bothered the silver-haired man who twitched slightly. You are still children, I will not be, you joined Umbu at our age. Sarutobi already said no to that since last time it happened Itachi was forced to do what he did, Sasuke growled, so either accept it or go back to being a spy en route, how do you? Hokage's office needs better security, Naruto rubbed his fingernails on his jacket. You broke into the Hokage's office. Well duh, what else can we do on a Sunday afternoon? You two just had to boast, Izuku groaned as they stood in front of the third Hokage's empty chair. Just couldn't help yourselves could you? If he ain't ready to see us as the shinobi we are then F him, Sasuke flopped into a chair while they waited. Shinobi are supposed to be punctual, the Kage most of all, he's been stood outside the door for the past 5 minutes, Izuku rubbed the bridge of his nose as he also sat down. I can sense his chakra from a mile away, I just want to know, why you hiding Grandpa third? Naruto poked his head from the door to see the third Hokage stood with his pipe just shy of the door. We ain't gonna do anything, and yet I heard you have broken into my office, that was last Sunday third, Sasuke hummed. The third Hokage moved into his office and closed the door behind him. He moved around to sit in his chair. You boys, why is it always something you three do? Naruto found himself sitting in the chair on Izuku's other side. Well, Izuku rested his cheek on his fist, while leaning on the side of his chair, we just want to see you Grandpa, a small chuckle. You boys know I should be punishing you for breaking in, you demonstrated the ability to use the round-robin jutsu, that was a theoretical jutsu made by Minato in case he had a partner in missions that could keep up with him, it isn't hard, Naruto shrugged, we just mark each other and teleport to each other at the same time. The chakra marker obviously moved too quickly for us to change targets so we end up taking each other's place. You're confident now Naruto, yeah, guess not being shunned by people helps with self-esteem, his snide remark caused the third pause. You saw it and yet you did nothing about it, listen third, you were made Kage because the village trusts you, but right now, the three of us do not trust you, his arms folded. You respect you. Your abilities speak for themselves but your character, Izuku tilted his head side to side, we don't know if you're with us or against us, you forced all three of us through the academy even though we don't actually need it, Sasuke tacked on, and now we're stuck with a Jounin captain that doesn't acknowledge out skills, the academy was for your social skills, the Jounin is because there are still things he can teach you, things we can't find in the catacombs. Unlikely, Izuku remarked, for example, Kakashi's Chidori that he developed, records of it are in the catacombs, Sasuke already started learning it shortly before graduation, Naruto is learning his father's Rasengan, both boys in question held up their hand, Naruto his left, Sasuke his right. A sky-blue orb appeared above Naruto's open hand while Sasuke's flat palm became covered in lighting. And you young Izuku. The greenette held up both hands. I got both, he smirked. Naruto was impressed at the start but now he wanted to learn the Chidori, much like Sasuke wanted to learn the Rasengan. I cover them both, so I need to know both of their skill sets, his Chidori-coated hand slid past the Rasengan, and after a few hours of analysis and an afternoon of failures, I succeeded where Kakashi failed, the lightning took from his hand and began whirling around the blue orb. Rasengan, lighting style, or just the Razendori, the third Hokage stared in shock. There's no ninjutsu the catacombs doesn't contain, hell even Guy's Leaf Hurricane and 8 Gates are in there, and you shouldn't be in there, well, Sasuke sked on his teeth, our shadow clones are in there right now, so, Izuku and Naruto grinned at the third Hokage. The old shinobi simply sighed and rubbed the bridge of his nose. Fine, alright, look, I don't wish to see the last Uchiha die, nor do I wish to lose the Kyuubi Jinchuriki. His name is Kurama and I'm Naruto, or the first primal chakra user in centuries, Uzumaki Izuku, get it right third, so I do not want to send you out into the field. Shinobi have been studying longer than you, but have they studied harder than us? Izuku interrupted, no, hear me out here, we have a shadow clone in the catacombs at all times, at the end of every day they dispel and send us the knowledge, morning comes and we send a shadow clone again, rinse and repeat. Third Hokage just stared again before grumbling. The greenette simply stood up and walked over to the bookshelf, leaning against it with his arms folded. Very well, you seem to longing this above all else, so I shall see you become Jounin by the end of the week. Your test will be the mission I'm putting Team 7 on, it's an SCRT mission rank C, since you want to prove your abilities, you will be escorting Tazuna, a bridge builder, back to the land of waves. You shall head off at the beginning of next week. Finally, Naruto boasted, something we can do, don't get arrogant Naruto. Kakashi's voice broke the calm. Alright Kakashi, Izuku eyed him, I do not wish to boast but we matched you in ability during your little bell training exercise, didn't we? Have confidence in us as we have for you. Naruto snapped his fingers as he stood up. That reminds me, he put a hand to Sasuke's shoulder, his palm warmed up slightly as Izuku made eye contact. Yeah, I know. The greenette walked over to Kakashi and rested a hand on his back. Sakura, go take a seat. The pinkette moved from behind the Jounin and bowed. Lord Third, it is all right Haruno, I am well acquainted with the boys on your team, they are a troublesome bunch, but you do things so slowly, Sasuke complained as Naruto lifted his hand away. It permanent. Unless I put the marker somewhere else. Yes, the blonde's hand rested on Sakura's shoulder as Izuku moved to Sasuke. What are you guys doing? Sakura looked up at Naruto. Remember how Izuku and I kept swapping places while fighting Kakashi? She nodded, well we each out our marker on each other, it allows us to almost teleport to the marker from anywhere, my dad used and developed it, the original art was made by the second Hokage, we're developing it to be faster as well but it requires chakra levels only an Uzumaki has, he moved to Kakashi while his brother moved to Sakura. By putting our markers on each of you we can move between you three instantly, or as close as instantly as we can get. Who was your dad? Sakura asked innocently. Naruto lowered his head slightly. Minato Namikaze, the fourth Hokage, died protecting the village on my first birthday. Your first birthday, why don't, not his first birthday Sakura, Izuku took over, as in the literal day he was born, his mother died in the same incident too. A man had used a Manjikyu Sharigan to control the Nine Tails and made it attack the village. Izuku, this is highly classified, if we are to operate as a team. She needs to know everything Sarutobi, not that you'd understand with all the secrets. You keep, Izuku bit back, to end the attack, Lord Fourth sealed the Nine Tails, Naruto coughed, sorry, he sealed Kurama inside Naruto. The two have been able to communicate for several years now after Umbu knocked him out when we came for answers. You didn't hear about us coming for answers because Sasuke and I beat the Umbu. Naruto could feel Sakura's eyes on him. You didn't hear about the attack because Third, in all of his wisdom, prevented anyone from ever talking about it. Naruto pulled his hand away from Kakashi and slumped into his seat. Really a genius move on his part, his voice was laced with sarcasm and spite. So Naruto was shut off from literally everyone, he felt the greenette stand behind him. Until Sasuke and I came along after I saw him in the park one day and Itachi told me the story of who he was. Itachi was an Umbu and didn't really care about what you said, he saw Naruto's treatment as a problem since he is literally your best weapon against anything, even other Jinchuriki. Izuku's hand rested on Naruto's shoulder, moreover Itachi couldn't stand by as a child was treated so disgustingly. Had I been able to truly understand what you did Sarutobi, I would have ripped you limb from limb for your sheer idiocy, Uzumaki Izuku. Kakashi yelled, that is Lord Third Hokage. I know, Izuku's hand tightened on Naruto's shoulder. But I really don't care, his voice was further away. Naruto whipped his head around to see a shadow clone at Kakashi's back with a blade to his throat. You see, I've had experience with bullies, those who spit down at you. I didn't like it, so I'm not fond of people who knowingly chose to put an infant in that position." His shadow clone growled, "So Kakashi-sensei, yes, he is the third Hokage, but that does not mean SHT to a boy from another world. In my world he'd be classified as a villain, because he's used his power to cause suffering to another." The clone disappeared in a puff of smoke and Izuku had remained facing third Hokage. "So by all means, test my patience right now." Something rolled off of Izuku, something that wasn't murderous intent, more indifference. As if he was emanating that he didn't care if he had to kill you or not. Somehow that was even scarier than when he displayed his murderous intent. Naruto was suddenly glad to have his brother as his brother instead of an enemy. "You are a member of Konohagakure, so you will act accordingly," Kakashi barked. "Is that what you though when you killed her Hitaki?" Izuku snarled without looking back, "Or when you let him go, Sarutobi?" Silence. Naruto looked to his green-haired brother, a fierce fire in his eyes. For the first time in a while Naruto felt fully protected. He knew Izuku would go down swinging to defend him. "Neither of you are perfect either. I suggest you get off your high horses before I kick you off them. You are arrogant Uzumaki." "No, I am confident. We didn't take off all our weights to fight you and I do not wish to go through putting them all back on in a few seconds." Naruto stood up with Sasuke as Izuku turned to face the Jounin. "You are arrogant, thinking we can't be skilled in our own right." Sasuke's Chidori screamed to life. Naruto felt his Rasengan swirl while Izuku held both hands down and created both before forming his Razandori. "I am still studying, that makes it something like 6 years since I began, but I have already done what you couldn't," the Razandori both screeched and hummed lowly. Kakashi took a step back. "The only thing holding me back from attacking anyone right now is the fact I want to help Naruto become Hokage and Sasuke to avenge his brother. Until you prove I can actually respect you, that will be all that is preventing me." "He is a strong-minded kid," Kurama spoke quietly. "He has such powerful chakra. I am surprised he has not killed any of you by overpowering yours with what is just radiating off him." "I know, right?" Naruto smirked. Apparently even Kurama was afraid of Izuku. "I am not afraid, kid, you misunderstand. Caution for fear." So Kurama was definitely hesitant to fight Izuku at least. "Kurama, Naruto, please try not to telegraph your thoughts, holy sage of 6 paths." Naruto glanced at his brother. "Naruto, would you like to keep staring at my head or fight Kakashi?" "How are you doing that?" "A ninjutsu normally used by the Yamanaka allows for a mental link. I can either mentally communicate two-way with you or one-way with multiple people." Naruto saw the hidden concentration on Izuku's face. "However, when you are practically broadcasting your inner thoughts it is very hard not to pick up on them." Naruto just sighed. Of course Izuku had already learned a clan specialty. He was a nerd through and through. "Heard that? Oh, go F yourself." "No," his smug grin made Naruto relax. The greenette was his brother more than anything. That nerd could banter with the best and yet, also know how to ground you to paste in seconds. Sasuke's Chidori faded as his Rasengan shrunk away. Izuku kept holding his Razandori. "You can relax now, Izuku." Sasuke shook his head. "Kakashi knows who he's dealing with now. Regardless, I'm not relaxed, nor turning my back on him just yet." "Kakashi, stand down." Third Hokage shook his head. "I do not wish to have a fight in my office. Never bring her up again." Kakashi actually growled. Naruto didn't waver along with Izuku, who simply returned. "Never underestimate us." The older Jounin relaxed. "Fine, but do not complain when I push you harder." "Finally, progress," Izuku grumbled before turning back to the third Hokage. Naruto simply sat back down along with Sakura, who had flushed a soft red. "Sakura, you okay?" Yeah, I'm okay." Izuku's hands landed on Naruto's shoulders. Well, you can tell us the truth in time, I assure you, but for now you don't need to tell if you don't want to." The greenette spoke slowly. "Anyway, Sarutobi, is there anything else you need from us?" "No, you are dismissed. You all know your mission. Be ready to leave in the morning at the start of the week. It should take a fortnight at longest, 2 weeks without katsudon." Izuku whined. 2 weeks without ramen. Naruto cried. Sasuke just tch'd. "Dopes, you can take instant packs if you want. you can create boiling water easily, he chuckled, although asking you two to go a day without ramen or katsudon is honestly the hardest thing I've ever had to do. You love them too, don't lie. Naruto poked his tongue out playfully. Stockholm Syndrome. Sasuke held up 2 fingers. Eating katsudon and ramen exclusively for the best part of 5 years does that to you? I'm sorry, what? Sakura interrupted their banter. You 3 have only eaten katsudon and ramen. Katsudon is the only thing we know how to actually cook. Ramen is cheap in the stores. Naruto ducked as Izuku went to cuff his head. What my brother means is, I am the only one that knows how to cook. Katsudon is just the most cost-effective recipe I know well enough to cook, and these 2 are too lazy to think of anything else except ichiraku and 5-minute ramen. Would you like to come eat dinner at mine? The pinkette offered. All 3 boys recoiled ever so slightly. What? We don't, Naruto began slowly. Well, I'm not exactly welcomed in a lot of places, a lot of people don't like me. Sasuke doesn't like the looks he gets as the last Uchiha in Izuku. He doesn't exactly have the patience for people that are rude to me or Sasuke. He doesn't like new people very much. He bowed in his seat. So thank you for the offer, but we will unfortunately have to decline. Well, I could bring some ingredients to your house if you want. It'd be a nice team-building exercise, plus you could eat something other than ramen or katsudon for dinner. His heart leapt before worry crashed down. It's okay, you don't have to. We'd be delighted, Sakura. It gives us all a chance to be a bit less paranoid and anxious. Izuku cut him off. Naruto cursed his brother for sealing his most likely unfortunate fate. Just wait, you never know, she might be nice. He turned further to his brother, who was still stood over the back of his chair. It also means I don't have to cook alone again tonight. Hey, I cook too. Sasuke intervened. Pouring boiling water into a cup does not count as cooking. Does Naruto cook? He shrunk into his seat at the question while both other boys chuckled. We refer to those as Ichiraku nights, because Naruto just insists on going to Ichiraku's ramen stand instead. Izuku ruffled his messy blonde hair. Sakura, if you genuinely want to join us, you are more than welcome at the Uzumaki Uchiha residence. I'll come give you directions once we get things organized and cleaned up. The pinkette smiled, her flush still evident. The 3rd Hokage coughed. You are dismissed. If you could discuss dinner plans anywhere else but my office, please. Oh, yeah, shoot, sorry Sarutobi, wouldn't want you to keep another secret. You made your point, Uzumaki. Go and enjoy the rest of your week. You got it, Grandpa. Naruto grinned and stood up. Sasuke followed suit, but Sakura and Kakashi were the first to actually leave. Third, Izuku stepped forwards. I am sorry that I can be so uncivilized at some points. It is just, I get bothered easily. Unnecessary secrets are something I'm not fond of. My genetic donors kept something from me since I was born, and when it was revealed it broke my resolve and spirit. For that reason I can be unruly when it comes to unneeded secrecy, so I apologize for unsightly behavior. He bowed slightly. It is fine, Izuku, go and enjoy your time before your mission begins. Wow, your place is so high, we find it more secure than being at ground level, less intruders. Naruto opened the door for Izuku and Sakura to enter. The pinkette was carrying a plastic bag of food items. So what did you plan on cooking? Nothing complex, just some curry and rice. I'm not the best cook by a long shot. I just figured it'd be better than katsudon or ramen for once. Sasuke laughed from the sofa and he read a book. Sakura, please, never say anything is better than that, those two may break down. Naruto shot him a glare and frowned. Ignore him, Sakura, he's just upset he's been barred from the kitchen. You make one mistake. Sasuke threw his book aside. Beach. You set fire to water. Izuku called out, that's not possible, no matter what laws of anything you follow. They ushered her into the kitchen. Naruto began getting cutting boards and knives from the cupboard as Sakura called out. Where are the aprons? There should be one more by the kettle. Naruto lifted his head up. Sasuke, give me the apron. The Uchiha stared at him. They had a battle of wills for a moment before he flung the cloth at the blonde. Thank you, here you are, Sakura, I can start on the rice. Izuku smiled. If you two want to prep everything else, sure. Naruto, you know how to dice things for the curry, right? A blank look to the pinkette. No, come on, be serious. He is. I wasn't lying when we call his dinner nights Ichiraka nights, Izuku grunted. Naruto shot him a glare. Sell me out much. Know how to cook anything. Nerd, dumbass. Hey, Sasuke called, interrupting their bickering. Quit that bitchin' in the kitchen, why don't you come do something then? Naruto barked, getting a whack from a wooden spoon Izuku seemingly materialized into his hand. Don't invite him into the kitchen. Izuku growled. They both began hearing giggling from behind them. Naruto turned to see Sakura trying her hardest not to laugh at him. I'm sorry, it's just, I've never such a mismatched family, even though you're all the same age. Izuku is like the big brother, well, I am more mature and someone has to be in charge. He puffed his chest, but in all seriousness, if I wasn't doing what I do, Naruto would still be on his own, crippled by loneliness, and Sasuke would be most likely stewing in hatred for his brother over something he didn't understand. The pinkette shifted closer to Naruto. That's not to say I'm not damaged too, serious neglect, harassment and the like, but honestly, I'm probably the most stable here. Izuku shook his head. Anyway, let's get cooking, maybe you can help me teach Naruto. They all chuckled. Naruto smiled as he looked between Sasuke and Izuku. Sakura hit the nail on the head. They most definitely were a mismatched family, but god damn it, it was his family. Chapter 4, Journey to the Waves. They all met up again at the large gate of Konohagakure. It was departure time. Naruto was grinning along with Sasuke at the chance to finally prove themselves as jounin. Izuku walked ever so slightly ahead of them. Soon enough they'd reached the destination and waited for Sakura and Kakashi. Guys. Naruto perked up and twisted towards the sound of the voice. Sakura was jogging over with her own travel bag ready to go. Coming to a halt, she smiled to them all. The blonde returning the positive energy. Yo Sakura, you ready to go? Hells yeah. The pinkette clamped a hand over her mouth and fearfully looked over to Izuku. Naruto matched her gaze and paled, looking at the sweet smile of Izuku. A sweet smile sending chills down his spine. Please don't swear, I have a hard enough time keeping Naruto from doing it, K. Thanks. His voice made Naruto subtly step between the greenette and pinkette. Kit, threatening teammates is not a good idea. Kurama, I understand your view, but you have not helped curb Naruto's language either. Izuku's thoughts broke into Naruto's mind. Naruto, we need to work on your mental defenses when we get back. The greenette turned his head to Sasuke and the Uchiha's eyes widened for a second before he shrugged and shuffled to lean against a tree. Did you eat breakfast this time, Sakura? Naruto turned back to the pinkette. Yeah. Izuku's recipe for breakfast-style katsudon was the best. They heard him laugh slightly before walking over to have a more private conversation with Sasuke. You excited for our first C-rank mission? You bet. Naruto held up his thumb. We're going to ace it. Once we get back, the three of us will be jounin as well. She seemed to falter for a moment. There's something wrong, Sakura. Well, does that mean we won't be a team? Naruto stared at her for a moment. Oh, yeah, I guess I forgot, you always wanted to be on a team with Sasuke, didn't you? A heavy sign. I don't think we'll be split up, Izuku. Sasuke and I work really well, but we don't have a striker. I'm the distraction. Sasuke strikes hard and fast and Izuku heads up a plan and fills in whichever role is needed. What we really need is a fourth member to bring the wham. What about Kakashi? He and Sasuke are too similar. Since Kakashi has a Sharingan, they'd get in each other's way once we go on bigger missions. A flicker of hope in her eyes, and Naruto smiled. Don't worry, Sakura, Team 7 isn't going anywhere. They continued talking while the sun rose above the village. Yo, Kakashi greeted them all, you guys ready? The sun was now lazily climbing through the blue sky while the four of them debated eating lunch or not. Yeah, sure, absolutely, you betcha. Sasuke, Izuku, Naruto and Sakura responded respectively. Wonderful, this is Tazuna, he's the guy we're escorting back to the land of waves. Kakashi turned to a bespectacled man with gray hair and a gray beard. He was wearing a sleeveless V-neck shirt with an obi, pants and a pair of sandals. Tazuna, this is my team, Haruno Sakura, nice to meet you. The pinkette bowed first. Uchiha Sasuke, I got your back. Uzumaki Izuku, happy to help, and Uzumaki Naruto. You got lucky with us as your guard. He rubbed his nose with his thumb. We'll get you back safe and sound. I was told I would be escorted by shinobi, not children. Naruto felt someone grab his wrist as he stepped forwards with indignation. Tazuna, we are shinobi. The first rule of being a shinobi is hiding in plain sight. While we may appear to be children, we are dangerous. Care to explain why you need 4 shinobi and a kunoichi for a simple SCRT? Izuku's voice was calm and patient, something Naruto wasn't aware Izuku had. Heard that jackass. Naruto forgot Izuku could hear his thoughts. The blonde relaxed and smiled again. Like I said, Tazuna, you got lucky with us. The old man stared flatly as the large group made their way out of Konohagakure and into the forests. How long will it take us to get there? Izuku spoke offhandedly as he, Naruto and Sasuke made a shadow clone each. About a week, Tazuna grunted as he observed the clones all jump into the trees. Naruto held up his hands and created several more just for security. Izuku had been taught by Itachi longer, but Naruto was definitely the fastest, maybe something to do with his dad being the yellow flash. The greenette nodded to Naruto and the two closed in on either side of Tazuna. What are you? They each grabbed a wrist and put their markers onto him. What did you? That's a marker. Naruto lifted his hands behind his head. It means that we can use our flying Raijin jutsu. How does that work anyhow? Sakura leant towards him. I mean, didn't your dad use it a lot? It's a space-time jutsu. Naruto shook his head. We aren't entirely sure exactly how it works, maybe a bit like the Kamui, but faster. Izuku just shrugged. Yeah, so those markers are our technique formula. Each user of the jutsu has a different one, hence why both of us need to mark you. Dad mentioned something about connecting chakra networks, but Izuku and I couldn't figure it out. Anyway, once something is marked, it's permanent by default unless you set a timer on it. Naruto held up a special kunai. My old man used it on kunai, so we did too. Once we scatter them around the battlefield, we have a massive movement range, Izuku tacked on as the blonde nodded. Yeah, we can also teleport holding people or objects, but we have to be contacting it. Naruto threw a kunai down the path ahead. But more complexly, we can teleport the object or person to a different marker or just teleport the item without teleporting ourselves. He picked up the kunai from the ground and waited for the others to join again. So what about that round-robin jutsu you used? That one. He grinned to the pinkette. Basically, since we marked each other, his body flickered, swapping places with his brother. We can swap positions at any time or point when we both use the flying Raijin jutsu, that was used by Konoha's yellow flash. And you say your father used it? Tazuna exclaimed, are you his son? Got it in one. Blondie is Yellow's son. I was adopted into the clan, but my chakra reserves let me use it too. The greenette held up a hand. I told you we were more than you first saw. The blonde frowned. You may have been adopted, but you're still my brother. They bumped fists. We're still waiting on why you need all 5 of us for an SCRT, he asked again. Very well, Tazuna sighed. The land of waves has been taken over by a shipping magnate called Gato. He's effectively bankrupted everyone in the land. If not the land itself, the only way to revitalize the economy is to build a bridge, undercutting his monopoly, the old man explained. But Gato doesn't want that, so he plans on hiring mercs to kill anyone that tries. Sounds like an A-class at least, Sasuke whistled. We could only scrounge up enough money for a C rank and hope for the best. After seeing your abilities with that jutsu, I feel much better about our chances. Sakura shook her head. These guys have been training since diapers. If there's anyone you want on your side, it's these guys. She smiled to Naruto. Helping people in your situation is exactly what I want to do. Izuku jabbed his own chest with his thumb. So don't worry, Tazuna. We got your back. They walked for silence as the sun began to descend to the treetops. Naruto's foot splashed through a puddle. He and his brother exchanged a glance. Izuku moved to Sasuke and the two nodded briefly. A shinobi jumped from the trees as the blonde threw a kunai at the same time as Izuku. Behind them a shinobi grew from the puddle. Between the two enemy a spiked chain appeared ensnaring the group. Kakashi. Izuku yelled. Get them out first. His voice was gruff. His brother looked back at him and nodded. Naruto quickly grabbed onto Tazuna and Sakura. You might feel a little disorientated, he smiled as he took the two into the cover of the trees. The Pinkette and older man were hidden in the shadows as Izuku and Sasuke stood the other side of the path. The chain wrapped around Kakashi. Now. Pull. One enemy shinobi cried. They watched as the chain cut clean through Kakashi and splinters fell to the floor. Go. Naruto called out. Izuku charged first, throwing a shuriken to send the chain to the ground. Sasuke followed it up with a kunai to pin it securely. Naruto closed in with a shadow clone, both holding a Rasengan each. Sasuke and Izuku both put their weight on the chain either side of the kunai. Naruto and his shadow clone dug a Rasengan into the gut of the enemy shinobi. Both were sent flying back, the chain still connected to the silver objects on the underside of their wrists. As they flew back, the chain tensed up, but the bodies didn't stop. Two sickening pops were heard as they each had a shoulder dislocated. The chain snapped and the bodies began rolling. Immediately they got up and split up, one dashed for Sakura and Tazuna while the other made a break straight for the trio. Stay behind me. Sakura ordered. Naruto could hear the fear in her voice. A barely perceptible nod from the other two and he stepped away, immediately as Sakura sighed. From the corner of his eye he saw Sasuke pull out a shuriken. Focusing on the ninja in front of him, Naruto lowered his stance. The metal claw sliced next to him and BLD flaked the air. Pink hair waved in the side of his vision. Kit, yeah, Kurama. Bury him, already on it. Wasting no time, Naruto slammed his palm into the gut of the enemy ninja. They recoiled, winded but otherwise unhurt, and smirked arrogantly. You're supposed to close your fist when you punch. I wasn't punching you, Naruto growled, his fingernails growing and his fangs baring. He was directly in front of the ninja in the blink of an eye. I was marking you. Thud crash, a tree began falling as the body of the ninja curved around the trunk. He picked them up quickly and threw them back to the path. Sasuke, Izuku. The two enemy ninjas collide in mid-air. Would release, rapid emergence jutsu. Izuku rested his hand to the floor and a tree sprouted, quickly growing between the bodies. In no time the boys had tied the ninja to the tree. Would release. Only Lord First was ever able to achieve such a release. Kakashi's voice was almost impressed. Chakra type allows me to combine basic elemental chakras. There's a lot of stuff I can do that I haven't discovered yet. It's the only reason I was ever able to make the Razandori, because I could find the right amount of lightning chakra to apply. It's how I mastered the Chidori so quickly. You have to add it slowly, too quickly, and it loses the nature, but too slowly and it will just change chakra nature, becoming completely useless. I beg to differ, Sasuke called out. Then beg, guys. Tazuna called out. Naruto whipped back around to see Sakura clutching her hand. Her bleeding hand. He was first over, followed by Izuku almost immediately. The Greenette pulled out a kunai. Those two were the demon brothers of the mist. Sakura's eyes widened as Izuku cursed. Naruto gulped. Once they could manage. SHT, oh no. They use poison tipped, GA-FDM it. The blonde grabbed Sakura's hand. We'll have to bleed it out, too risky. Poison won't have spread too far and making the wound worse heightens infection chance. He bit the inside of his cheek. Sakura, do you trust me? She nodded as he bit down gently on her hand, sking her BLD out. The metallic warm fluid filled his mouth for a moment before. There. A bitter, rotten taste. It began overtaking the taste in his mouth as he turned his head to spit it out. Sakura, we need to sit you down. The faster your heart beats the worse it's going to get. Leaning her against a tree, Naruto went down to one knee and kept sking. He could hear Kakashi, Izuku and Sasuke talk about the Sharingan while Tazuna recovered. I have the first Tomo. After what Itachi had to do, I need the Manjikyu Sharingan if I'm to avenge him. Then you'll need to lose a close friend. I don't think that's true, Kakashi. and besides I know Sasuke has no longing to see either of his brothers in all but BLD go anytime soon. Izuku's voice helped Naruto relax as he kept skinning the poison and spitting it onto the same patch of grass. I think it's more akin to overpowering emotions, such as losing a loved one. I should think it has to be bigger than the first tomo or at least have more meaning. I should think the eternal Manjikyu is the same too. Actually the eternal Manjikyu can only be achieved through transplanting an Manjikyu user's eyes into yours, so you two could swap eyes if you really wanted to. How are Shirsue's eyes working for you, Izuku? The barely audible screech of Izuku's eyes activating caused Naruto pause. About as well as Obito's left eye is working for you, Kakashi, except I have more control over the ones gifted to me. I would remind you I am no Danzo and Shirsue was my /sensei, best friend and an older brother to me. Never insinuate I stole these eyes, Sakura whispered to Naruto. Is it true? Does he have Uchiha eyes? He spat out the poison again, it was tasting more metallic now. They aren't Uchiha eyes, they're his eyes. Shirsue gave them to him, knowing that he would do right with them. So far he's right. Izuku only rarely relies on those eyes, determined to prove to his greatest teachers that he is worthy of them. Naruto sighed. His technique is the Kodo Amatsukami. Shirsue admitted it to me once that he used it on Izuku to give him a small boost in confidence. It plants a thought or idea into the person's subconscious, manipulating them without the victim ever realizing. It's a genjutsu of the highest order. Izuku knows of the power but hasn't ever used it, even though his primal chakra lets him, because he doesn't want to manipulate a person in any way. Talk to them, yes, debate, who boy he's there, but manipulate. Not his style. Sakura seemed to relax ever so slightly. It requires the victim to look into his eyes anyway. The fluid tasted like BLD again. He spat it out onto the patch of dirt. Staring at the small circle of dirt he couldn't see a single blade of grass, not even a wilted one. I'm sorry Sakura, I wasn't fast enough, am I? The fear in her voice was almost physical. No, I got it all out, but if I'd just been a second faster, you wouldn't be like this in the first place. A hand ruffled his hair as he reached into a pocket for bandages. Hey, you did everything you could. Guilt twinged in his gut. She didn't know they were wearing the training weights still. Besides, I should be apologizing to you. All this time I've treated you like a class clown, but here you are, one of the most dedicated and skilled shinobi I know. Please, I still have a lot to learn. I have shadow clones in the catacombs still researching for me too. Every 12 hours they make a new copy and disperse, so I get a day's worth of study there, and then, if I have something I want to research, I just make a clone and dismiss it to spread the information to the other clones. Then they can find the information and send it back to me. You think you could teach me the jutsu? Maybe, but it splits your chakra up, so you'll probably only start with one, like Sasuke, but chakra training should push you up to 3 or 4, he spoke absent-mindedly as he wrapped her hand. Wow, seriously? I'm not going to lie, it is very difficult. Sasuke is only on his 4th shadow clone, but I don't see why we couldn't put you in 2 places at once. Awesome, thanks Naruto. She waved her hands and clenched her fist. Ow, yeah, I'd be careful for a few hours at least. That was a pretty nasty cut. Naruto, Sakura, let's get camp set up for today. We'll make a roster to keep watch. Kakashi called them over. There was silence for a second. Food. Naruto and Izuku cried simultaneously, causing Sasuke to almost break down with laughter. The blonde sat on a fallen log they'd used as a bench during dinner, the remaining embers of the fire smoldering behind him. Hey Naruto. A voice spoke quietly from behind. He looked up into the starlit sky through the million branches making the treetops. Can I sit with you? You should be getting sleep, Sakura, as should you. Aren't your shadow clones on watch? Izuku and I are taking turns, remember? He looked towards the darkened forest. A kunai landed between his feet. The tag on the handle read all clear in his handwriting. I'll wake him up in a minute. Why are you up? Just, can't sleep I guess. The Pinkite sat down next to him. So you're jutsu. I suggest waiting until we get back to Konoha. We don't want you too tired during our mission. He stretched his body out. What about that Raijin jutsu you used? The fly and Raijin. That's once the second Hokage created, it's a class S, spent months getting it down, only seal needed is the seal of confrontation, but you need to use the jutsu formula as a marker, there's also a lot of different ones made from it. Second, use the flying Raijin slice, throwing a marked kunai with a bunch of regular kunai, and as the target deflects them, he'd teleport to it with a blade in hand and slice them. What about that round-robin jutsu? Third said it was never used before. After Dad learned the flying Raijin, he developed a possible new method for two people to swap locations anywhere anytime, but they both have to use the flying Raijin jutsu at the same time. He also developed a flying Raijin second step. It's a lot like the slice, but he throws a kunai into their blind spot. It's more effective against more durable ninja. His hand rubbed the back of his head. Sorry, I was rambling, a little trait I've accidentally picked up from bro. He also created one that uses 6 warp points in a circle and creates a flash of lightning. Super long name though, so I didn't bother remembering it. Naruto, yeah. Izuku said you were trained by Itachi and he had to do something really horrible. Uchiha Itachi was an older brother to all three of us for a point in our lives. He and Uchiha Shirsue were our senseis. They taught us literally everything we know about fighting, shuriken jutsu, taijutsu. Hell, we broke into the Hokage's office at one point to learn the shadow clone jutsu just to prove our abilities at information collection. What did he do? I can't tell you that, that's for Sasuke to disclose, but suffice to say, Itachi was forced to choose between something or the village. Even then he wasn't given much choice either. His voice was morose, but don't worry too much about it, I'm sure you'll learn about it in time. You are trying to date Sasuke after all, he'll tell you when he trusts you. His closed eyes didn't see the pang of despair on Sakura's face, but it disappeared when he opened his eyes again. About that, Naruto, oi bro, my turn to keep watch. Izuku came over and chopped his head comically. You two go to bed, my clones and I have got the watch for the rest of the night. Izuku, don't even think of staying up the rest of the night, I have some analysis to get done. I'll be fine. What are you analyzing anyway? He tried poking his head over his brother's shoulder to read the notebook. Trade secret, I've been doing a lot of research into the first Hokage. He was incredibly good with chakra. There's a few things I'm trying to study about him. Izuku moved in such a way that Naruto couldn't read his notebook. Go, bed, now, the blonde groaned at the greenette and rolled his eyes. Ugh, fine, come on Sakura, better not PSS him off when he's tired. I can stay up later than you dipshit. The greenette yawned, just need to wean off the final cup of coffee and I'll be the best non-sleeper out there. Yeah, sure. He waved a hand before crawling into his tent. Maybe sleep wasn't such a bad idea. The rest of their journey wasn't much of a disaster. After the first run in the route was actually genuinely really quiet. The entire time Sakura would talk to the four of them about the jutsus she could learn and what she'd really need to fill. Naruto, being Naruto, had obviously been the most talkative and animated in response. He promised to help Sakura with all things from chakra control to the shadow clone jutsu. The blonde was now looking forward to completing the mission for more than becoming a jounin. We should reach our destination soon, Tazuna murmured, although I am concerned with how little interference there has been. Right now they walked along a path with the forest on one side and a lake on the other. After what happened on day 1, whoever is trying to stop you hired someone much more dangerous. They'll probably have a plan laid out now. Izuku shook his head. Look, I'm not saying this is going to be the most dangerous thing in the world, but forgetting caution at this time is a very bad idea. Ahead rested a small clearing to the lake. I agree, Izuku. Kakashi nodded. It is odd that they haven't attacked yet though. None of us have sensed any chakra and your clones haven't picked up anything just yet. Sasuke's arm flung out to the side. A kunai landed in a bush. Sasuke. Sorry, I thought I sensed something. A small white rabbit raced from the bush, scared for its life. Unusual, such carelessness after all this time. Attacking a rabbit. Tazuna wiped his forehead. Honestly, actually, that means something much more than you realize. Izuku stared at it. Naruto, Sasuke, you see it too, right? Naruto was going to answer when Sakura beat him to it. Why is it white? Surely that's supposed to be its winter coat. It is. Naruto stared at it for another moment. The animal was raised indoors, meaning it's a substitution item. To make it even more convincing than an empty bush, his eyes closed for a moment. whoever it is, they're not, wait, something coming fast, 3 o'clock. Everyone was on guard as a shadow leapt from the trees and tackled Kakashi. Water style, water prison jutsu. Their leader was suddenly locked in a sphere of water as the figure stood up on the water. Naruto stared as the unidentified person faced them, one hand on Kakashi's liquid prison. The three boys dropped into ready stances. Sakura, cover Tazuna again, he lowered himself. Kurama, can I get some claws? Kid, if my chakra overloads you, you will end up going into a frenzy. I just need enough for claws, not much, please. Very well Naruto, that should not be a lot, and with Izuku I dare say you could be subdued if it came to it. A sensation filled Naruto as he felt the chakra boost. His fingers tensed as his nails stretched into claws and his teeth sharpened to fangs. Sasuke, Naruto, stay on the land for now. If we can resolve this without close combat it'll be a DMN sight better for us. Got it, understood. Meanwhile Tazuna trembled behind them. Do any of you know who that is? He is the demon of the hidden mist. The old man fell onto his backside. Naruto dropped to all fours and grit his teeth. I know exactly who this is, Izuku filled in. For a time the hidden mist was known as the village of the bloody mist. He killed an entire graduating class even though he wasn't a student, last shinobi to be crowned as one of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist. He stole the Kobikurabocho, one of the famed swords of Kirigakure. You sure do your research, boy, the figure almost boasted. Well, when someone at Umbu level kills a high-ranking jounin of Konohagakure, I make sure to know them. Izuku's eyes narrowed, plus finding information on you wasn't even that difficult. Who is this? Sasuke hissed. This is the only man that killed over 100 academy students. A hulking great sword was lifted in the man's free hand and rested on the same shoulder. Momochi Zabuza.